Oh, I didn't understand.
Hey, Ojito, what's the matter?
Oh, hey, Eduardo.
Lucia, I apologize,
Okay.
Ojito. It's usually not like this. The same thing happened the other day.
His victory has some worried about populism taking root in Canada. Joining me now to discuss, Brittany Andrew-Amofa is research manager at the Broadband Institute. She joins us from Toronto. Sean Spear is a senior fellow at the Macdonald-Laurier Institute and former advisor to Stephen Harper. He also joins us from Toronto. And Tim Powers is in Ottawa. He is the vice chairman of Student Strategies. Let's start with Doug Ford himself. Tim, is he a populist?
I don't know. I think he's unique, Carol. Is he a populist? I don't know, but he's a crafty politician, and he demonstrated that in the way he won this leadership this past weekend. He lost the popular vote, and he lost in terms of total ridings, but he knew enough about how to work the system to win the points. His language and rhetoric taps a vein of anger that's out there, a sense of dislocation, and he speaks in a way that I think many people wish other politicians would speak. Is that a populist? I don't know.
What's the anger? Where's the anger that he's tapping into? Okay, Tim, take a crack at that.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm sure Sean probably agree with this. In Ontario, certainly there are a lot of people who are feeling the tax burden, who are feeling that, yeah, they're hearing things that are supposed to be better from the federal and provincial government, but they're still having trouble making ends meet. The economy doesn't look bright to them, and they're sick of politicians telling them that they're doing the best things for them, and there being no proof that that's the case with their own pocketbooks.
Okay, Sean, what do you think? Is he a populist, and what anger is he tapping into?
I think he is a populist. He certainly shares characteristics with populists elsewhere in the developed world. And as for the causes of populism here in Ontario, or the resonance of his message, I think economic conditions are certainly part of that. I think there are other issues, though, that are also contributing. A sense on the part of some Ontarians that our socio-cultural dynamics are moving too quickly. That different voices are too frequently excluded from our politics, and that there's a growing sense that people with traditional or social conservative perspectives are marginalized or condescended or ultimately neglected. And so I think there's a whole host of factors, socio and cultural and ultimately economic, that I think have created the resonance here in the province and possibly elsewhere in the country for a message and a tone like Doug Ford's.
Brittany, isn't that the way that politics is supposed to work? When people have been left to the margins or they've been angered in some way, they're able to get somebody into office who represents them?
Well, that's not the way politics is supposed to work. Our political system is meant to represent the interests of those who live, let's say we're talking about provincial politics within our province. When you have neglected, let's say, or have silenced a group for so long, then you do get these fringe voices who are fighting to be heard, who are looking for an advocate or for that representative that can best align with their interests. And I think that's what's happening here. I do think Doug Ford is a populist candidate, but I also think he's a conservative candidate. He has conservative, fiscally and social conservative values as he's displayed in this race. And I think what's really interesting is there's a lot of Donald Trump and Doug Ford comparisons, and I think it's such a lazy analysis. It's such a convenient analysis. I think it doesn't allow us to fully bring into context the Canadian or the Ontario-specific situation and what has allowed for Doug Ford to come in. We have some wedge issues in this election, such as the sex ed curriculum, such as hydro rates, that are allowing for people who are really disgruntled to come forward and look for somebody to represent their interest. It's interesting now we might see strategic voting coming into play here out of fear of Doug Ford, and that even brings in the conversation around an electoral reform, something that has been happening since the 2015 election, and the need to kind of have a better electoral system that doesn't promote strategic voting in fear of a party coming in. So I would like to kind of see the Trump comparisons go away a little bit and actually have a more meaningful conversation around what is happening in Ontario politics.
Okay, well, his platform, repeal, reduce, and eliminate. Repeal sex education, reduce hydro weights, eliminate the carbon tax, promise to stop the minimum wage increase next year. It did remind me of the Trump campaign to some extent. The plan looked to undo everything that Obama had done before him, and it looks like what Doug Ford wants to do is to undo everything that Kathleen Wynne, who he would term an elite, I believe, undo everything that she did before him, Tim.
Well, and Doug Ford might look like an elite himself if you look at his bank account, wouldn't he, Carol? But
is that what an elite is?
Doug Ford is much like John Chrétien in some ways. I mean, Mr. Chrétien one is the little guy from Shawinigan, and he had a very successful business and political career before he got back into politics. I think more of what Doug Ford did in this campaign, as often happens in leadership campaigns, is come up with the right messages that helped him galvanize enough support to win. How wedded is he to all of those particular proposals? We shall see as time goes forward. Axing the carbon tax has been part of conservative national nomenclature for a while, except for Patrick Brown. Although, ironically, people will tell you that Ford captured a lot of the Patrick Brown voters in this election. More, I think, because of the shake-up, the establishment message. Now, how does that turn into governing? We'll see.
I absolutely agree there. I think what's really interesting that Doug Ford brought into this race was the fact that he brought something interesting to the Conservative Party. And I think the social conservative vote is a vote to be reckoned with. And I think we've seen that play on the federal level with the Conservative Party, with Andrew Scheer coming into power, primarily because of the SoCon vote. And we see this with Ford and Allen showing in the first round. So I think this signals to other provincial governments across the country that if you